Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
What's the story? What it do? What it is?
What it is, big man? Are you alive and kicking?
Yeah, man. Back again. It's another bomber clock season with Cheese Boys.
Yes. This is what, the fifth year or the fourth year? The fourth year.
The fourth cheese. Need to retire.
Well, it's the end. Is the end of the fourth year in May. Because remember, we started beginning of 2020. So then it becomes, or is it earlier than that actually? But yeah, whatever it is, you know what?
We started mid-pandemic, mid-lockdown. So we go May. Lockdown hit and then on like, what do we do?
All this free time, all this time at home.
Exactly. But now we're back. Happy New Year, people. How y'all feeling?
Yes.
There's nothing I hate more than that first week in the office. Oh my God, Happy New Year. How was your holiday?
Oh.
It's like, oh my God. Like, first of all, we both don't care. And it's like, why do we have to go through this? Like, I'm happy with it. Hey, man, how you doing? How were your holiday? Holiday was good, sharp. Like, I love people just, you know what I mean? Just let's keep it moving. Because you don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you just,
let's
you
not
don't
play
care.
silly games.
Yeah, no, let's not lie to each other. Like, now I have to sit there and pretend, oh no, that's nice. Your parents were around. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, let's not waste that time. Let's not waste each other's
the small
time.
talk and chit chat.
Yeah, no, I know the real niggas. Like, I know people who genuinely, want to have that conversation because you're probably on my Instagram, right? So it's like you were already Vili, I saw you were here. Okay, yeah. How was that? Da, da, da. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even. It's not a struggle to talk to those people. The ones where it's like we don't really care about each other's lives outside of the office. Why are we doing this thing?
But you know what I'm proud of? One thing I'm very proud of my peoples.
Yeah.
I did not get a single chain message this year, whether on Christmas or New Year's. No one sent me those long ass festive greetings, Happy New Year.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't
forwarded
get any.
many times.
Yeah, I didn't get any.
Not
either.
one, bro.
Got a few.
That's
of
a sign
those
of maturity.
Generic, Christmas images. Happy, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Like those pictures with the bells and the.
Oh yes.
Got a few of those, but Siyabong. And then the only thing left now is the broadcasters. But I mean, I get it. I understand the broadcasters because you don't want to text a bunch of people Merry Christmas. And then you want to make sure that you don't miss anyone. So there's that message. I know when it's a broadcasted message. Like, I just always know it. Where it's just,
you can sense, you can see.
This one applies to like 100 people. But then my only issue is I would send a broadcast as well. But it's like now I have to deal with everybody's replies. You know what I mean? Like, the majority of people would respond and then want a nice strike up conversation. So what are you up to for Christmas? No.
I see a plus in.
Exactly. So we'll and it's this and the third. But anyway, before we go any further, welcome back, guys. It is another episode of your favorite Cheese Boys. It is 6 foot weights. My name is Tabo.
Yes. My name is Senna.
And yeah, we are good. We're here for a good time. It could be a long time, but very unlikely that it would be a long time. We're just stretching our legs in this thing. Y'all know the standard. Veterans of the podcast. They know the standard. But I feel like there's only one place where we can start this, Mr. Moy.
Yes.
I might have to just, put you to the side. I know a lot of people are invested in what you got up to. But I'll just park that for a moment, for a beaky, as we would
Can't
say.
get up to anything interesting this December.
Besides
nothing at all.
leading in fantasy. It is, you know what? If Senna chooses to share a bit of context, just add this. Keep this in your minds, everybody. Senna, the weekend Senna decides to talk about or not talk about, that's the weekend he took the lead in the fantasy league, in the 6 foot weights fantasy league. So let that influence his priorities at the end of the day. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that alone for a second. I'll let that go for now.
This man.
But we've got very important business, Mr. Moy, very important business. We have hit, and I hinted at this towards the end of last year, and you guys did the things over the holiday. The podcast is officially a 6-figure podcast, not monetarily, not yet. I'm sorry, but
we're not there.
Not there. We're not there yet. But in terms of streams and downloads, as Koda, we are there, guys. 100,000 listeners on the podcast, 100,000 downloads, streams, whatever the heck you want to call it. Wow, like that's insane, fam. That's insane. 100,000 plays. I see.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Imagine if we're charging per listen, like $1 per listen.
$1 per listen. Yo, listen, fam. I mean, we can look at these revenue models now. There's an appetite. We're doing one or two things correctly, but obviously the biggest congratulations has to go to both me and Senna for putting this together. No, I'm kidding.
100%.
It goes to the listeners. It's going to the listeners. Guys, thank you. Big thank you with a capital T.
Yes.
For subscribing, for listening, for sharing. This is truly what they call a team effort. And yeah, no, man, that's when we were creeping up. I was like, guys, come on, keep playing, and it was just fun to just see it, grow, and it's just like, oh man, like it's just going to do it on its own. And the part that made it kind of fun for me was that we were on a holiday. We weren't even putting out shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and the numbers were just going up. And that was fun,
Yes.
So it was passively growing itself and hitting. But shout out to the listeners, man. Now what? The next milestone is 1 million.
Maybe. Who knows? We might get there.
1 million,
but I know.
I don't have that time. I'm sorry.
That incentive to push and make it like it's possible. Look, I think the one thing we've never actually tried to do is like market heavily and be like, this thing, and whatever. Outside of the first year, I think we tried that in the first year, but it's so much work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it needs you to be like being a content creator. I can't believe I called us that, but being individuals who create content, it takes a lot of effort.
Being individuals who make content.
Individuals who make content. That's what we are. But it takes time. Shout out to Lindo as well, our one and only editor, producer. The one in the corner. Making the magic work, but it's just a lot of stuff, to the point that we had to get her to step in as well, and revolving schedules. There's no set times. There's it's just I would love to make this even a visual podcast, but I think about the logistics and I'm like, it's long. I think
I see what people do with YouTube and the editing and all of that, and
we would cook if we had a visual item as well, but it's just fam, and the thing is, we both have high standards, so it's we wouldn't just want to half-ass it. It's now okay, cool, we need to now make our houses or a certain place in the house look cool on camera.
Yes.
And then the lighting and this and the third. Hey, guys, it's just
it's a lot.
To put in, it's already difficult on just an audio space. To now step it up to that next level, I've seen some visual podcasts from people out there, and it's they. So I'll reference, because I wouldn't reference someone I'm trying to shade, but for the Kandora's new item, the Black and Forth item, that's dope looking. But you see the work, the cameras, the stuff. You know what I mean? That's someone who knows what he's doing.
Exactly. So and even when Nat and Koli used to do Girl in Skies, I think they'd go to a specific studio.
Yeah, and I've seen that studio on gang podcasts. So I'm okay, so these are those who are making money. Let's invest actually. Let's build a studio and then just have people come and record their shit. Because I've seen lots of big podcasts that are on that item. Because also it makes sense to just, if we were together, I'd be let's just go to a studio.
Yeah,
the lighting's already sorted, the equipment's there. It's just edit the thing. But unfortunately, it does. But anyway, we're open to exploring ideas, guys. Let's see how the year goes. But the big story here is 100 trillion. What did Zuma say? 700.
Listen properly.
Listen properly. Yeah. But I know me. You guys have heard me say this before. The goal was to get 100 people to listen, and I was good. At that point, I was like, you know what? I did the thing.
Yeah.
So now 100.
But it's
thousands.
Gone beyond.
That's yeah. What's your? What can I say? What's the question? What would you? What's the most fun thing about the podcast for you?
Do you know what? Actually, it's the Friday. It's not actually. Maybe the recording is fun, but it's actually seeing people react to stuff that we said, and just listening to whether or not people agree, disagree, and if I think when people find the funny episodes and they're like, "That was hilarious," that always kills me. That makes me smile. So that's my favorite part of doing it, I think, and just. The feedback, dog, especially when it's people engaging and saying, hey, you guys said this, you said that. Sometimes we may not be able to. That's probably something we need to do better of this year. Maybe respond quicker to when someone's like, oh, when you guys were saying this, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes
this is you speaking to yourself. What are you talking about responding? Because you who needs to respond quicker. Please,
no. Minang, bro. Because I would on the account, yes, definitely. 100%. But I think I'm more available to people to reach out and be like, hey, this, that. Like,
I mean, yeah, fair. I hear that. But yeah, no, we'll be better.
In that sense.
We did have split focuses this year, last year rather. So yeah, this year should be, inshallah, slightly more, tolerable year in terms of schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah, inshallah. But yeah, no, it was I think that's my favorite part, as you said. It's watching those reactions, receiving feedback, listening to people's comments and point of views on a Friday or a Saturday or whatever, whenever they listen to the podcast, actually. That's always cool. I enjoy that a lot. What's your favorite thing, Mr. Maps?
I think definitely recording. For me, it's the talking and just seeing where things could go and never knowing how the podcast is just going to end up on a particular week. I think that's probably the most fun part. And then, the feedback is always great. I'd probably say actually ahead of the feedback, discovering our ghost listeners. Oh my God, I love that shit. That is, yay! You sneaky people out here sneak listening to the podcast, supporting the podcast. Like, I know.
I'm gonna put one of my cousins on blast.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if she'll appreciate me putting her on blast, but I will. We had a family reunion when we went home, so my cousin promised. She said,
"Family reunion." Yes. What was the cause of this family reunion?
No, there was actually There was actually a family reunion,
or a separate organized one.
A separate organized one.
Okay.
So I know that there's some of my cousins and my brothers and sisters who listen to the pod, but I never know if they're like up to date or they're a couple of episodes behind, or they started when I started the journey and then they like dropped off or tailed off.
Yeah.
And then we were talking and then she mentioned literally, I think the last episode before we went offline, I think we're talking about the rules of engagement when you're going to Zim, things you should say or shouldn't say.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I know she's a listener, but then it made me think that, hey, are there like other ghost listeners who are like up to date, following every single...
I know there's plenty.
Episode without saying, oh, actually, I acknowledge. But I appreciate that, dog. It's, the support is always cool, even if people don't even reach out. Because I know it's not everyone who's like extroverted enough to be like, let me reach out to these boys. Or let me say something. Or let me get my point of view across.
Omunye visited himself accidentally at Smokehouse. They said, dang it. I love the podcast. How?
Dala buena mana cara first puzamazi.
I was like, I didn't expect that. But no, shout out to the boy. Shout out to the boy. And also shout out to the listeners. We were both in Zim. I went out considerably more than Senna during the holiday, I would say. And I bumped into quite a few listeners of the pod. There was a dude, I was going to shout him out, bumped into him at Smokehouse, but I can't remember his name. But shout out to the dude. He knows who he is. Big fan of the podcast.
The shout out to the dude.
No, but he knows himself. Shout out to the dude. Shout out to the dude. He knows himself.
Yeah.
This is a shout out. Appreciate you pulling up to the boy. And then, yeah, shout out to a couple of, hey, geography today, what gender bias needs to change, bro, because we'll see Bakona, the supporters were there and they were pulling up saying, hey, bro, what's the story? So I had to also make it, look very, very, I know they say I won't be very formal. Yes. like a dad. I had to reject a few offers of a drink, So I was like, in as much as, hey, bro, I'm down for the drink, and I know it's coming from a good place, but it's Lee chicks. But no, shout out to those people, man. It was like, and to me that's that's all the celebrity that I'd ever want. Like, where it's just one or two or three people that pull up on you. Not this. Yes. You get somewhere and everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that, man. Like, it just seems like a lot of.
Could never be me, blog.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm already awkward-ish sometimes, like with new people. I think I'd probably be the most awkward. I'm trying to see like an awkward celebrity. Like someone that you see on TV, like this one. Celebrity, yes, but
yeah,
I can tell you got here just based on your talent and pure skill or whatever.
Whatever you do, especially you kill it in that.
Yeah, exactly. Like Messi. Messi looks like the most awkward person you could ever bump into and have. I don't even think you can hold a conversation with that man. But there's other guys like Pogba. Pogba looks like he's like a celebrity. Like,
yeah, even Ronaldo.
Oh yeah, CR7 and a couple other guys who are just like out there like that. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's been good. I don't know how far we'll go, but we just keep going.
Yeah, no, we'll keep going. We'll keep trying to innovate as well, add a few things, and see. We didn't do that many collabs last year, so I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, like actually, it's put a bit more effort into that.
Yeah, the scheduling though was a bit.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit easier for this year, so that we can get a few more people onto the pod. Did we get Kandora last year, or was that the year before?
It must have been the year before, 2022. I think we had a chat about it last year, even 2023. But I think last year, for the most part, we had Nat come through. Shout out to Nat. She's basically
Nat's not a guest anymore, bro.
Yeah, so in the picture. When you click on Spotify, you just have a picture of Nat there on the side as well.
She might as well. So shares these days.
But I know we had a lot of scheduling difficulties last year, especially trying to navigate. That was your first year as a dad. I was trying to go through navigating getting married. And that was, I know, like, okay, dude, how about this time? I can't. I was awake. How about this time? No, I have to go pick up fiance from work. Okay, how about this time? I'm working late. And I know towards the back end of last year, I had to work like late hours. So now you're like, okay, let's find time. Maybe you have a gap here. And that makes it difficult to then incorporate a third person into the mix. But we'll see. Hopefully it gets better this year. Cross fingers.
Okay. Dope. Hey, bro, I was looking at the numbers for the impressions that we make. I'm like, damn, bro, like these numbers are right. They're looking sexy. Let me see. Well, interesting stuff that we can talk about whenever we do these type of things. Obviously, geography, guys. Shout out to the UK. The UK is now officially our number one market, followed by South Africa, followed by Zim, followed by the US. The US has grown. I remember days when the US was only 3% market share. So the US has really powered through. Australia's growing, Canada's growing, Germany's growing. Shout out to our ghost listeners in Germany. Y'all are the sneakiest out there, to be honest. But what was this? UAE, okay, all right. These are the bosses. UAE, no, your manager's listening. It's just making sure. And then Netherlands, and then the rest are all these random countries in the world. I'm trying to look for the most unique country that I haven't mentioned. Have we mentioned Mauritius?
No.
Mauritius.
That's
we have Iraq.
Iraq. Okay, that's
no. This better be VPN shit, because who's listening in Iraq to the podcast? That would be so funny. And then let's see. I think I've mentioned all of these. We've got the Philippines, Djibouti, Uzbekistan, Bahrain, South Sudan, Liberia, Puerto Rico, Colombia, and Laos. Where's Laos, bro? Laos.
I have no idea. Let me see. How do you spell it? L-O-L-A.
Lagos without the G.
Laos is a country in Asia.
In Asia? Okay.
Yes, it is north of Thailand.
Okay.
And to its south is Vietnam and Cambodia and then Thailand. Yeah.
Dope. Alright. Shit. No. See, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking in the last 30 days. So now I need to adjust my filters. Right. Platforms. Apple Podcasts holding strong at 50%. Spotify 37%. Google Podcasts 5%. And then other. Gender, I was happy for a second, because in the last 30 days we almost have an exact 50-50 split.
But you know that never lasts, Mr. Maps. Come on now. Let's not be naive.
But all time we're looking at 62% female listeners, 34% male listeners, 3 non-specified, 0.8 non-binary. And then our age demographic, 28 to 34, 35%, 23 to 27, 33%, 1.7% at 45 to 59, and then 1.4% at 60 plus. And then I'm at 2K. I'm at 2K have been growing steadily, bro. We used to be at like 2%. I'm at 2K. Now we're at 6% of 2Ks.
Okay.
And then... yeah, that's it. That's pretty much devices. Obviously, iPhone community. Shout out to the iPhone community holding us down. 60% of the listeners. Android 20%, which is weird because I feel like Android. There's many more Androids in the world, so I'd expect Android listeners to use it. Well, I don't know, but anyway, it is what it is. But shout out to Apple gang.
Yes.
Those are the analytics, sir. Let me take a look here. Yeah, those are those. But that's the podcast is in good condition, guys. It's good, it's nice. And we'll continue to grow, innovate, and give you guys that good shit.
We give thanks.
Let's see what we have here on the list. Oh, okay, yeah, let's talk about Zim. Zim was great. So we were both in Zim. Mr. Moy, what did you get up to in Zimbabwe? Anything of note?
Went home, chilled with family, friends, had a few people come over at my house on the 30th of December. We had a good time. It was nice, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
But no, man, Zim was cool. I think the big thing obviously was I got married. Yay. Shout out to Mrs. Moyo. I don't know where she is. Oh, she's chilling in the lounge. Got married the whole of last year, just for context to listeners, because I think some people, you see like little snapshots of Instagram, Mr. Maps will say to it, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what's going on in his life and whatever. And to those who I hadn't like spoken, doing this thing culturally also as an African, it's not, you don't want to be saying too much out into the universe as you are planning and preparing to do something. You just do it and then you involve those that need to be involved, and all of that. So I got engaged December 2022, paid lobola in August 2023.
Binger.
Wow. And then after we paid I'm not sure if this happened to you, Mr. Maps, but this happened to me. So after we paid lobola, my wife's family and then asked us point blank, ukuthi, right, so umakoti nimfuna njani, how do you guys want to do this? Do you want owesintu, or do you want to do like a church wedding and then have her, then that will be like the official transfer date, right? For those who are into football like that. Because we were keen to like live together and we're keen to like, right, let's just get cracking with our lives. I then said, actually, let's do a whole thing owesintu where her family brings her to my house, and then officially from there we can live together, and then maybe we can do a white wedding at a later stage. So we said that, and then shout out to my family, dog. My family is amazing. Then they got to say, okay, cool, let's make it happen in December. They'll bring her to our house, and then that'll be the official sort of welcoming, and then we'll do a wedding later. Now, I have a big family, Mr. Maposa, as you would have noticed. My father is the first of 9. My mother is the first of 4. So in my cousins and siblings and whatever, already must figure in an area, whatever, see 60. And that's just like immediate family, right?
That's just the VIPs.
Yeah, And then as we get planning, and then you start adding friends, and my parents' friends and my sisters, both my sisters' friends, and you're like, okay, cool. What are we gonna do here? And I remember we're all sort of designating numbers as we were planning, right? And my brother was always like peaceful. He's just like quiet. He's like, yeah, you guys can decide. Me, I'll be there. If friends are coming, they'll come, but you guys figure it out. And then the numbers grew, and then it became necessary to just make that event bigger than we had originally thought. And then it grew, and then it became huge.
Became a wedding.
And then we ultimately made the decision that actually let's just make it a traditional wedding. And then, like I said, the reason why I say my family is amazing is everyone came together, and then they were like, right, let's do this thing. And yeah, my parents and my sister and myself, we all came together, and it became a beautiful wedding. So in December 30, I got married. Mr. Maposa, you were there. You were chilling with the boy. We give thanks. Shout out to you. From August as well, and then December as well. I know it's a lot. So the support from the boys, yourself at the forefront, and my cousins, my siblings, everyone, friends, dude, it was overwhelming in some respects. So we had the traditional wedding on the 30th of December. It was different because I'd funny enough, I'd never attended a traditional wedding. Like proper. Yeah. So the good thing is everyone felt involved. Like, you tell people this is what you should wear, and then people showed up wearing it, which was nice as well. And everyone was on theme. Bride's family also had their theme. But I've started to get a few previews of the photos from the photographer. It's looking dope. And yeah, man, and that was what I was busy with in December in Zim. That's probably also why I wasn't outside as much as you were, Mr. Maps. And yeah, man, and shout out to the listeners of this podcast, because as soon as you upload one picture on like Instagram, the congratulatory messages just flood in from people. Oh, dude, I listened to the pod. Congratulations. And then Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all of those. Like, there were just so many. Also from people who just know me from the pod. That was really dope. So that's what happened. That was the big thing. That's what I got up to. It ended up being a very big celebration by my house. It was beautiful and people were happy.
I know. Your wife is bougie. She pulled up to the yard in a G-Wagon. I was like, hey, I know we advertised that what she's boys, but she took the branding a bit too seriously, you know. Makoti just put up in a G-Wagon. She's like, no, me, I'm not, I'm not Bambu Poto, Makoti, I'm a, cheese girl. Please act appropriately. So
yeah.
I was fine.
Oh man, the actual day itself, I always make fun of my wife because she's very bad with time. She was late to our wedding.
At least it's her. Imagine if it was you. That would have been a whole nother story.
Yeah, but I mean the nature of which it works in Ndebele cultures, her family kubas her to my house, right? So what typically happens is her family gets to my house and then they wait at the gate, all of them, and then they let like her in with a few aunts, and then we'll do like a few traditional couple of things in the house, and then the celebration comes out afterwards. So I think we're meant to start at like 10, and then they rocked up at 12. So now they're rocked up at 12 with the whole team, by like the whole family. So now we have to restructure the program, figure out how that goes. But that made it super cool because then when we let them into the gate, there was like a whole sea of, they were wearing white with Ndebele print, we were wearing black and white. Then there's like
also
boso. So there's now like a whole timber of the white and whatever, and then the black and the whatever, and people are singing, and there's like a whole, like it felt like I was on a set of, what's the name of that movie, that one where You Got Served? Yes,
I literally I was about to say, I felt like I was on Stomp the Yard because it was at some point niggas was going back and forth. I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah, it was back and forth. These ones with their one song, these ones with their other song,
and then about to start cramping, is it?
So I'm them like, okay, do I dance, or do I be that Mkwenyana who papas, or do I Mkwenyana who's reserved? So I'm like, no, I'll let the paparing for my cousins, because papa all of them, really, to be honest. So I let the paparing to like all of them to do, and then I can just be like in the background, and solemn and cool and whatever. But yeah, it felt like an episode of You Got Served, where it's one party singing, the other party singing, and then eventually they, you open the gate and you're like, no, you guys are welcome, and then they walk umakoti all the way right into the house, and then afterwards we go to the tent, then you have the big celebration. So it was nice, it was cool, I enjoyed it, and special thanks to everyone who contributed, either in appearance, in well wishes, in messages, all of it. We give thanks.
Siyabonga. It was a good time. I enjoyed the day, and I always say this: the best position to be in the wedding is like not the guy, but close to the guy. That's the best place to be in the way, where you're not over, where it's like, hey, bro, you can't even ask about food because who the fuck are you? Or where things, where you know what's going on, you have access to who you need access to. And like, that's the perfect place to be in a wedding. But like,
100%. And I remember
I'm sure your cheeks were tired after all of that smiling, fam. And
dude,
all the pictures.
Do you know? And who was it? It was your wife actually who said it to me when you guys came to take a picture with us, and she was like, "Right now, can we have a proper smile?"
Not the fake one.
Not the fake one. Not the tired one.
Not the magazine item. Nah, for real. For real, bro.
To be honest, and the day is enjoyable, and I get exactly what you mean when you're the tabo, or you're the prof, or you're the LT, or you're like, you're there, you're in the mix, you've got a speech, you're you're VIP, but you can get up and go do your own thing. You can go drink in the corner. No one's watching you, like just like all.
Yeah, no one's checking for you.
200 eyes on you to just see how you're behaving when you pick your nose or whatever.
No.
But to be honest, there are still moments that you savor, especially when you look back at the pictures and you're like, I enjoyed that. That was really cool. And
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. I had a good time.
It's I think it's honestly, for getting married is a once in a lifetime experience. Like I don't think, which is why, like, I think I said this to you a few days after my wedding. I was like, bruh, like, God forbid I ever have to be in the situation of getting married again.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, 100%.
I'd never had a wedding. I'd never have a wedding ever again, because I think the feelings and everything that goes into a wedding are just, it's like a one-time thing, you know. Like, it's not, you can't, I don't know, like, again, if there's listeners who've had a second wedding, right, a second marriage or whatever, and had a wedding, I'd be very curious to pick your brains to, like, how did you feel?
Yeah.
You know, like, because I feel like I'd just be bored. I'd just be like, you know.
Done this before.
Because it's all your same relatives, right? Now it's like, what, we do pictures again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Although,
just,
so I see
love,
that point, right? I see the point you're making, Guti. I'll be so tired to do all of that again. I don't think I'd be tired, but I think I'd just be awkward. More than anything, it's like, okay, hi guys, we're back here.
Welcome back. It's another episode.
Yeah, you know, do I switch up? Because I had so the list of people I had speaking, just for, I think if I remember correctly, was my grandfather, then my father, then my brother, then you, then my sister, and then my uncles. My two uncles also spoke. So now when I'm doing it again, do I like switch up the list? Do I, you know,
yeah, exactly.
Do I play around with it, Gangane? Do I, you know, what do I do? And then it feeds. It up? Yeah, do I spice it up? Do I then say, okay, no, Mr. Maps, they heard your stories last time. Can you like change the story, Gangane?
Change.
You know,
tell us another one.
if you were to get married, I'm like, you know, do I really tell the story about the lunchbox again? Do I sing again? You know,
yeah, exactly. Like, I need DJ needs a new track. No, I mean, like, it's just so many authentic moments that happened the first time,
which you can't recapture.
Yeah, it's like if you can't recapture that, why do it? You know, that's just my argument. Like, I don't get why you would do it again. Absolutely, if a marriage doesn't work out and you marry somebody else, sure, that's your prerogative, right? But like the wedding part of it, like, nah, bruh, pay the lobola if that's your culture, and we're going to court. I won't even like. I'd be so straight up with whoever it is. I'm like, Chief, this is a court mission, because I know.
But just then, what if it's okay? Like I said, they were not speaking this into existence, right? This is a hypothetical scenario.
Absolutely.
And if people
hold on, we have to quote Julius Malema here. We are cruising nicely.
Yes, it's all so good. There's nothing weird. There's nothing orcs or anything. But what I do want to ask is, you know, for the people who've gone through this before, was it the other person's first time and your second time? Was it both your second times? Because I think it becomes awkward when it's the other person's first time.
Yeah.
Because I suspect they would want a whole big celebration.
Probably.
If it's
I'd still refuse. I'd be like,
Njani,
I'm not doing
because
that.
For that person, it's like their one time, right? When you've gone through it before. Yes, it's not their fault you went and had a whole big thing earlier on in your life.
Yes.
But for the most part, I'm like, you know, if it's their first time, they might want a mcimbi, they might want and maybe their family wants a celebration, not even you.
No,
maybe
absolutely.
Their family
and they probably, it's not even a maybe. It's like almost a guarantee that they want that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those. It's like just don't divorce, guys, because there's no like. It's just it doesn't. I don't know. I'm just talking from a selfish point of view. If I was the person that had been married before, I wouldn't want to do it again, because it almost feels fraudulent to a certain extent, right? It just internally is what I mean. It would feel a bit fraudulent. I just think it's just a once in a lifetime thing to get married and have a wedding, or rather to have a wedding. Let me not say to get married, but to have a wedding, it's a once in a lifetime thing. No matter how you do it, traditional, white wedding, whatever it is, like it just would be, you know, it's just it's not the same. And like your relatives being happy for you, you know that. Ironically, all of my cocos were like, Chief, this is the first and last wedding we're gonna attend in your name. Just letting you know right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm letting you know right now. This is the only chapter that we're attending. That's literally what my coco said.
That's why people choose you. But you know what?
Like that, fam.
I think that's good advice. It's like, right, don't fuck it up, right?
I get it.
Make sure it goes well. The other thing it was also cool to have my married friends at the wedding. So you and Mrs. Maps, that was cool. Because and Mr. and Mrs. Spanda, shout out to Fox and I want to say Mrs. Fox. Shout out to Fox and Umangurube who came through on the day. Mrs. Fox. Because I don't know, dog. I think I don't know how people feel about marriage and whether or not it's necessary and all these things. You know, I think it is. I think if you're two people and you find someone you want to do life with, celebrate that, have a wedding, get married. But it reflects well, and it reflected very well on the circle of friends that I keep. Because then I could be like, oh yeah, here, you know, you've got Mr. and Mrs. Maposa there. You've got Mr. and Mrs. Spanda Bakona. I've got my friend Hanani who's finishing his PhD. I've got my friend Milo who's an attorney. And, you know, he was there with his +1. Or, you know, you have Sims, an actuary. He flew in from wherever in the world just to attend the wedding. Manny, he had a whole big holiday plan. He was coming from the States. He came to Zim, and then he attended the wedding. So then when I was telling my parents all of these stories, they were like positively impressed. They're like, oh, okay.
You were flexing.
Yeah, I was. But you know what? I didn't realize I was flexing. Because it was just like, oh yeah, these are my friends. They do this. Because you know, when it's family, they know your family. They know Prof, they know LT, they know Promise, they know everyone. They're like, okay, cool. Losia Mazi, we know what they're doing, we know what they're up to.
Yeah.
But they don't know your friends. They actually don't. Yeah. They meet most of your friends for the first time at the wedding. Yeah. Right? That's the first time they meet, like, some of them. People that you've lived with, grew up with. Others, maybe like you, they'll know from time, right? You've spent Christmas at my house. But others, like Mdawini, they met Fox this year. It's like, oh yeah, these are the people, this is the company. I keep like, oh, you know, it's good company. Oh, is he married? Yeah, he's married. Oh, nice. And you know what I mean? I'm not to say anything, but I'd never thought about it that way. But oh, hey, my friends are doing amazing things in their lives. All in different.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you wanna be Senna's friend, submit a CV for evaluation. Must come. Don't just come here with your smokehouse and vibes. No.
Not at all. But I'll always say it. Not that it inspires you, but maybe tacitly you start to do things in your life which, you know, you see. Oh, Mdawini went paid Lobola, did this. Not like you're actively thinking, I need to do this, but maybe tacitly it's like, oh, okay, it's okay to get married.
You actually, you know what? You're touching on there was something that I saw. A friend of mine who did a whole, as you Instagram people, sometimes they are dark, but like she did a whole announcement of like, oh guys, I'm gonna be leaving IG. You know what I mean? It's just
okay.
I need to take a break from social media. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I keep, you know, scrolling through the story.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to explain. She's like, no, it's just I've realized that, you know, I'm seeing all of you guys' lives and you guys are doing well in life, and it's like I'm not having a positive reaction to that.
Okay, that's fair.
It's affecting me like negatively. Right, I feel like I'm a failure at life and blah 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 blah. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, all right. So I kind of get the logic, but then I then thought about it in my own context, where it's like I've never felt like that before. Not because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing amazingly well or whatever. Like I still have things that are on my checklist that I need to I need to check off and chase, right, actively. But for me, I like my network, like you were saying with the friends, right?
Yeah.
Being on IG and seeing, like, if Senna jumps on IG and then he's got a new Merc or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's dope. So like my my initial reaction is always that, like, yeah, that's amazing. I'm happy for you. Like, that's dope. But then also it's like in like, I don't know, it's subconsciously or whatever. It's like, oh, challenge accepted. Like, I also want to get to that level,
and not even in a competitive way, but it's like,
no. For me,
it's possible.
It is competitive.
No, I don't look at it that way.
But it's not bad. But here's the thing: competition is not bad, right? Like, people need to stay away from this thing of like competition and motivation. Like, they're very, very close to each other, right? So it's like, you're motivated by something in a positive way, but also I'm a person that I know that when I've excelled in life, it's when I've had a form of competition. I'll give a quick example. When I would go out, like, running, like do a 3K or a 5K or something like that, right? You're running in the neighborhood, you see somebody else running. It would usually, if there's no one else on the track, it's just me and my music, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to get through the run. Not the biggest fan of running. But then whenever there'd be other people on the track with me, like, you don't notice your pace, and it's hard to motivate yourself to improve your pace per kilometer, right? Whereas when there's people on the track, I would do my best to, like, keep up. So there's others where you just know, bro, this person's pace.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
I will punch up. But there's others who is like, you know what? This person serves as a great, like, what's the thing? Like, a person that you can bounce back off in terms of the pace that they're maintaining. I am able to maintain this pace for myself, and it's better for me because I can now do a faster 3K or 5K or 2K or whatever it is. So that's how I see the world in general. Where it's like, if I see Senna do well, it's motivational, but it's also a competition. Maybe the competition is the wrong word because people might see it in the wrong way, not the way that I see it. But it's one of those things where I'll be like, look, that's great, but I also can get to that level.
Yeah.
And then I look at it, I'm like, okay, what's my situation? How do I excel in what I do? So it's not to copy you, right? But it's like, on the path that I'm on, I also want to reach those benchmarks that will allow me to live this quality of life or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I always look at it.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I'm motivated by competition. So if my friends are doing well, that's great because I want to ball with my friends. You know what I mean? I want all of us to have a good time. I want all of us to be turned. So, like, if you're at a level, I want to meet you at that level. And then if you go higher, then we go higher. If I go higher, like, and you, like, you need me to come through, I'm gonna come through because I think there's plenty for all of us out here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's why I love competition, because I think competition drives people at the end of the day to be a better version of themselves in whatever space.
100%. But I also understand people who will deactivate Instagram. But I thing is, I also take Instagram with a very large pinch of salt, because the reality is not what you see, right? You're only seeing highlights. So I think everyone who feels some type of way about everyone on IG is going to Bali, they're going to Malaysia, they're going to Dubai, they're doing this, they're doing that.
And y'all have been going to Bali. God, it's so cheap. First everyone was going to the UK, now they're going to Bali. I'm like, but me, I look at my bank account, I don't have Bali, man. Let's go. Where's the special promo for Bali?
Like,
it looks nice.
But it's like I said, right? I was in Dubai last year, and I remember I came back on the pod and I was like, hey, Kak, my bank account is finished, right? I was honest with that. You won't see that on Instagram. You just see the picture.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say, I get it. If it's affecting you mentally, then leave the app, because you're just going to look like you're the only one who's not doing amazing things or having a good time. But just always take IG with a pinch of salt, because it's always going to be, to an extent, it's a highlight, right? And you don't know what people are doing to get to these places, right? You don't even know if it's funded by their salary. So when you're now looking at your salary to say, or maybe it's funded by a parent, or it's funded by a boyfriend, or a husband, or whoever.
That's why I mean, any women on my IG, abang stress. Any women on my IG, Range Rover, that's okay. Well done. I would like the post. You know what I mean? If I know you personally, congrats, my G. You know what I mean? Like, I feel no pressure,
but
because there's too many options for income streams there. Okay. Where it's like, who knows? It could be your career, it could be whatever. And again, like me, I don't judge, right? However you got the money, But I really hands with just like, listen, bro, y'all are just like these dudes who are out here who like wouldn't even be wanting to smash, but they're just like, I know people say, yeah, it was bandy, maybe they're lying, but they claim, oh yeah, so and so just gives me money. And it's like, so it's like, how do you compete? So that's why Hans don't vex. Because Hans, there's no FFP with the female side of the chick.
But they might vex.
There's no FFP.
But you see, they might vex other Hans, or they might vex your Hans.
Oh yeah, they vex each other all the time. They're always vexing each other. Like that, I know. But the thing is, that's why we need more women watching football. Because if they understood FFP, then things would change a lot for them. I've had to explain to a few people, like, look, financial fair play, guys. Like, you don't know what kind of dicks you gotta suck to get this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, listen, it could be that type of situation. It could be that, or maybe she, like, again, isn't as humble career-wise, right? Like, and it's just, you come in from a well-off family. So there's so many different situations where it's like, listen, bro,
don't let the social
like
media
the post,
vex you.
Be happy for them and just keep it moving, because there's no FFP, there's no structure. And that's why the women's side of things, there's no league, like it's a super league. But Tina, we're in the championship, so we know everyone in his pockets are like we're all at the same
Wagwan, right? Wagwan.
We know Wagwan with the niggas.
You know the situation. How it
it's like so now all of a sudden, if Senna is now courtside at the Lakers game, I'm like, Senna.
Hey, what's going on here?
Like, boy, what's going on here? Like, I'll report you to the board, right? FFP, we take it very seriously on this side of things.
But like I said, I think the point I was trying to make initially was, there's always going to be tacit positive influence in one way or another, right? It might not always be marriage. It just so happened that I had a couple of my friends who were married who showed up to the wedding, and then my parents are like, oh, that's it's good to surround yourself with such people. I'm like, oh, well, some of them aren't married, some of them are doing other amazing things in life. And then that's when I'm like, oh, then they're like, oh, that's cool, that's, I'm grateful for that and that support and all of that in life. As for what Mr. Maposa is saying about FFP, never pressure yourselves to get married, guys. I think for women especially, there seems to be I get married by this time, and have kids. I think a lot are now moving away from that, which is great, but there are still some people who pressurize themselves with, hey, angachati, what does that mean? Hey, bruh. Sometimes it is, I don't know how to put it, but it may not be for you. And I mean it because marriage is a very personal thing between two people. And
weddings are expensive.
Weddings
are expensive, so you need to think about that. And if you now also invite abantu, that's another thing. So it's like you have to think about all these things. It's a sunk cost, and you just you have to really balance some of these things. And even guys, like it's not just girls who have that pressure. I know quite a few dudes who have that internal, like, hey, bro, like, when someone asks you a lot of questions about, like, how did you raise the money and lobola and this other, it's like, chief, like, I see you're stressed. Slow down. Slow down, bro. Like, you just relax, don't kill yourself over this, because you're going to regret it when you get to the other side, where it's like, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful day, it's going to be a wonderful moment, like, but Oksala is that if you've jumped corners to get to this level, then you are going to regret it, because we're not going to be there. You know what I mean? We'll come for the day, we'll come for the special day, but now when you're now, in a tight situation, we're not going to be there, or we're not going to be aware of, bro, you went and you did this, and this to get to this place, because you just felt pressure because all your boys were, like, I like to troll niggas, in the group, someone gets married, I'm like, right, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always that guy, but it's just like, I'm joking. Like, literally, the joke starts and ends there. Don't then take it and be like, bro, I will post it in the group. He was at Senna's wedding, and like these are guys that I was in class with, what's going on with me, you know what I mean? Like, just everybody has their own lane. And, when that time comes for you, like, you can definitely work and save towards it. Like, Senna had a plan of, right, this is how I'm going to systematically get to where, where I want to be. You can also do that. Anyone can do that. You can plan it out, right? But it starts with planning. It starts with having a structure. You don't just wake up and be like, bruh, here's $20,000. Let's do the things. Unless you're within the ZANU and all that. Like, obviously that's a different story. But like, if you're a normal person with a normal job, like, plan it out. Just like a holiday. You'd plan it out, right? The plan is I want to go to France in the summer. I'm going to start putting away, $500 a month or $100 a month, whatever it is. And you start doing these other things. So I advise everybody, anyone listening to the pod, is like, don't ever feel that pressure in whatever part of your life that you are. It could be professional, it could be personal, whatever. Like, assess your situation and then, see how you can get better. Yeah, in your place, in your bubble. Don't look at the guys on the next to you and start, a common thing in swimming, you would see people like next to you, they're in the inter-schools, people are swimming faster than you, and then you see Senna's moving faster than me, and then it's like you start kicking harder. It's like, just because you're kicking harder it doesn't mean that you're gonna move faster. Like, sometimes it could be a case of the way the way you move in the pool, right? Like, you're not using your body structure to its optimization. So like, there's so many different things. It's not just the basics of like, hey, because what if the guy next to you works because he kicks violently? That's what works for him, right? But for you, it could be technique. It could be adjusting the way that you move your hands or your legs. It could be something else. So like, you only discover that if you focus on you, and then put critical thought into that. Don't put critical thought into what other people. Clap for other people. I think I'm always happy for other people. Always. I challenge myself, but the first thing is I'm always happy for you. And I'm never mad at anyone whenever anything good happens for them. I'm like, fantastic. I'm glad that happened to you. And, I'll give you your flowers, right? But at the same time, I also challenge myself, like, right, Lawe, we want you to get flowers. So how do you maneuver from A to B?
How do we?
So I think if everybody adopts that type of mentality, then, I think it'll be you'll be in a much healthier place.
Yeah.
And not in your mind. And the mind is a very, very dangerous place, guys.
It is.
You can slip and slide.
Also, when we started this podcast, I remember, I don't know what conversation we're having. I remember saying, marriage is far from me. Like, it's kachana. It's a bit, 4 years, things change in 4 years. And they can change very quickly sometimes. So, just also be mindful of that. Your current circumstance, some of these things find you. Let me put it that way. It'll just happen by itself.
Always. My current relationship, I was never looking for it, fam. Shit found me.
Yeah.
Never looking for it. It's like, oh shit, like we're now like, we're here? Oh, okay. Just stop on my ring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's what? We have a kid. Like, it's just all these things that are just happening. It's like, oh, okay. But it's just,
Johnny, bro.
The timing, the timing is always, they always say God's timing is always correct. It's never wrong. It's never wrong, guys.
Always on
time. In the Bible, that one is, but it's true. It's true. All right, Mr. Moy, I think we did oh shit, I didn't even talk about my sadism, but I'll summarize it in 2 minutes. I have a lot to say about Zim. I have a lot of things.
First of all, before we went on a break, we had some rules of engagement. Did you abide by them?
Yes. No, I didn't. Yeah. And I told you that I was not going to. I got home. So we flew in, and as soon as we got home, there was no, I think we got there on a Wednesday, and there was no VAT.
There was no water.
And then I was like okay, Ogula months. So I just let it go, and it's like, whatever. 12 months I'll be access. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, got the baguette emissions and whatever. So again, my stay in Zim, listen, it was dope. Like, we have solar at home. So, things were not in tatters. at all. So I didn't really have complaints to that extent. But it was just one of those things where there were certain things where I was annoyed. But I will start with the positive.
Okay.
Well done to Econet. This is what I'll say. I'll start with that.
Okay.
Well done to Econet. Because when I was home a year and some change ago for my wedding, and then maybe Econet was always this good, because when I came home La Pana for my wedding, this was April 2022.
Yeah.
I bought a Net One line. My wife and I we bought Net One lines at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, no, it's a half shout out to Econet. I just remembered some shit. But anyway, let's start with the positive side.
Yeah.
The Net One was so bad. In 2022, bro, like I'd be in town, a signal.
Yeah.
Like a thing showed E, bro. You know how dab it is when your phone shows E for empty. Like it was just like aye. Like it just didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But this time we did Econet. So because we both remember that horrible experience. So we did Econet and we're like, okay, let's see what happens.
But Econet's always been the best of the rest, right?
That's what I'm saying. Guti, maybe they don't deserve this props, but from my point of view, it was a major step up from Net One. I was like, even like YouTube videos, I could stream. Like it was just not. It was not an issue if I was in town and I wanted to watch some highlights or whatever. Not an issue. So internet connectivity.
Wait, my post.
For Econet.
So yeah, starting this thing where you say very, very weird things, which I must bring you back. Well, you're watching this without Wi-Fi. Nje usukela Econet data as it is Drizzy Manyoro.
Brand new vest.
Yeah, watching YouTube videos without Wi-Fi.
I was with him. No, because again, I this was like adding maybe like $10 worth of airtime. I think got me like 5 gigs or something like that, whatever bundle it was, right? And it was fine. Like I think I ended up my whole time in Zim. I was there and I was in Zim for like how many days? 12 days?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, whatever it was. And I think I used $20 on airtime.
Okay.
Of which the other so 30 technically, but 20 because of what I'm about to talk about now.
Okay.
So from the data point of view, when it was connected, fantastic, almost everywhere in Zim. And now the issue came. I bought the line right at Lokuzen airport. No, we bought it at Bradfield, the same day or the next day, I can't remember. We got the lines. We choose for $10 each. My line decided, first of all, I was like, okay, let me do the eSIM thing. She was like, no, I saw that the settings, really, just give it 30 minutes. I don't like leaving, mobile operators before what needs to happen happens. I don't like that. When they say, no, hamba is that, no, I don't like that in general. Because there's usually, shit doesn't go the way it's supposed to go.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm like, no. She goes, no, give it 30 minutes, is an activate line. Yeah, well, okay, sharp, no worries. I give it 30 minutes, line doesn't activate. I'm like,
And then?
Okay, that's weird. And then, yeah. So anyway, by the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? Let me just put in the actual SIM card and, call it a day. We examined the eSIM thing. It didn't work, whatever. So now I get to using the actual SIM. The internet's good. Network is fine, blah, blah, blah. Although it does take an unnecessarily long time to get it. So like if I'm calling Senna on Senna's phone, like mobile call, it takes an abnormally long amount of time to start ringing.
Like
but yeah, it's usually because I'm used to within 3 seconds it's now ring, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's nothing. That's a very, very small, don't get mad at me, people who live in Zim. Like I'm not complaining. I just put it out there. I'm not complaining. So now I use the car. I don't use the card. I'm using the SIM card. Everything is fine for a day, right? And then at the end of the next day, I needed to go drop off or see my boy, right? My boy lives in Hillside, like literally around the corner from Smokehouse, right? So I drive to my boy's place, and as I'm on the drive, because obviously at home you are connected to the Wi-Fi, so you're not even noticing if you've got network or no network, right? So I jump in the car, and then I start driving, and then about halfway through, I'm about to call my boy to play. Hey, essentially. And then I check the phone, no bars. I'm like, the fuck? Like no signal at all, bruh. And I was like, but yo, this has never happened. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me put the phone on airplane mode for 10 seconds, and then it should be fine. I do airplane mode, nothing. I'm like, okay. Eventually I get to my boy's place because it's like a 5-minute drive. 5-10 minute drive, something like
Yeah.
that. It may be 15 with portals.
Yeah.
but hey, also, yeah. Zimbabwe government, guys. I'm a portals, lana guys. No. It's unacceptable. Like, guys, that's scary. Like, it's not even me hating. It's just some of the roads were scary, dog. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I left the house at 9:30, somewhere there. Yeah, 9:30, somewhere there is when I think I left the house. So I tell my wife, I'm like, no, I'm going to the boys' place. I'll be back. Kateso, really, don't worry about it. She's like, okay, sharp, no worries. So now I get to my boys' place and I'm like, okay, cool. Uza Uta, then at least I jump into the PNAC, connect to Wi-Fi, and tell my wife what happened. Because now I've got no bars. I can't even make a mobile call, bro. It's like as if there's no SIM card in the car, in the phone. So I get to my boy's place. Boy's not there. I chill there, maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes, nothing. I'm like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. I'm next to Smokehouse. I know for a fact, and this is because the sky's the skies. I'm like, I know if I go to Smokehouse, I'm going to bump into someone that I know. Like, that's just a given. That's just a fact. Yeah, it's a given. So okay, so I reverse, go to Smokehouse, and bumped into to Roy. Roy's like, hey, well, bumped into Sabelo. Shout out to Sabelo and his missus. They were there as well. But I bumped into Roy first. I'm like, hey, bruh, I need you to hotspot me. Because I'm like, I've said I'm going to be back just now. All of a sudden, saying that you phone, I'm MIA. So I was like, no.
Dangerous.
This is looking at like a dangerous situation. I'm just, nah. So I was like, Chief, we'll catch up just now. I need you to hotspot me now. He's like, why? I'm like, Chief, I need to tell the wife where I am. He's like, okay, sharp. Hotspots me. Then I text, babe, listen, I've got no network. My babe was like, no network? Because now I have to start explaining the situation. No, it's SIM card I save. Like when I felt so dodged explaining.
So now,
all
the network, usuphume endlini, kharezo usebhawa.
Bro.
Maphosa, please, badala dog.
No, listen, that was the exact math that she did. That's the exact math that she did, fam. So she's like, okay, so why didn't you just come back home? And I was like, no, Chief, mate, I just wanted to let you know this is the situation.
Yes.
That's it. I'm just letting you know. Because it's like, I could be on the drive home, right?
Bad.
And then you realize, you send me a message, you see it's one take. Now you're calling me, if only it's like, you know what I mean? Like, even though it's like 10, 15 minutes to get home, it's like, I in my mind, I'm like, bro, Smokehouse is right here. I know I'm going to find someone. So, like, yes. I might as well just tell you, hey, this is the situation. So she was like, hey, but she did the exact same. She's like, okay, so you somehow, some way, you wound up at the web. I'm like, no, bro, the point was
1 + 1.
Wow.
Honestly.
You did 1 + 1, bro.
Honestly.
So I had to wriggle out of that situation. Like, no, baby, no.
So when the story circulates, yes, believe.
No, me, I stand by my story, guys. I stand by my story 100%. But again, this is the thing. People at Econet, who have Econet, I'm sure I'm not the first one who has experienced this. So guys, adders, like, this is genuinely something that happened. Like, so in my mind, I genuinely thought maybe the network is a pen. I had to get by the bar and I really pin. I put the pin, I keep the SIM card, I wiped it on my shirt. Didn't work. Like the SIM card just died, bro. I don't know, it just died. So then I had to when I got home, I took my dad's SIM card the next day. Then I had to put another $10 of airtime. So that's why I spent $30, but really it was $20. So I was very annoyed. So I was disappointed that happened with Eco.
That's a lot of money,
that soon. Yeah.
That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
So it was, my schedule in Zim was so hectic, I never found time to actually go back to Econet, to Lokuzen, to sort out my phone. Because also, there was Unity Day, I think. Was it Unity Day? One of the holidays.
22nd.
Christmas.
It was Unity Day.
So that was a holiday. Then a weekend, and then Christmas, and then Boxing Day, and then I was out of town. So really, it was just like, bro, like every day shit was happening. So by the time I left Zim, I had to give my dad back his SIM card. But like the one that I bought, it still has that $10.
But the SIM card I
barely used it. But the SIM card I saved. So shout out to Econet, but also
do better.
minus 10 points. Yeah, I could do better.
All right.
But it's definitely a better experience network wise. than Net One.
Okay.
I'll give you that much.
All right. So what else? Because like I said, remember the whole rules of engagement were so that you don't annoy people who live in Zim with the typical, nothing here works. Oh my gosh, there's no Uber. Oh my gosh. So,
but you know what I kept saying? What I kept saying to these ones, because
that is true.
I was on Smokers on multiple occasions, and the bottles was popping, the bottles was flying. Like, listen, throats were open with a capital O. Like, it was wild, bro. Like, and then there was cotton. I went out for a date night with my wife at the Kraal.
Okay.
Food is shit. It wasn't great. We were very underwhelmed. The service was not great, and I think it was the manager, whoever came. Oh, how's the food? But like, chief, first of all, these fries just some of them were undercooked. There's nothing worse than those thick cut fries that are undercooked.
I hate them
because it's literally like eating an apple.
Yeah,
at least an apple is sweet, it's juicy. Potatoes, no. That's not so. Some of them are overcooked, some of them are undercooked, and then some of them are just right.
Did you at least take a pic for IG?
I took a picture of that City of Skies thing.
Yeah.
So they've got that City of Skies logo. That's really dope. Love that. City of Kings, not City of Skies. But yeah, so that was really, really dope. But yeah, that was, I don't know, it was a disappointing. We were very excited because the place is beautiful. It looks dope. And we've heard stuff about it, positive reviews. But maybe it was what we had. Then also, my wife, I think she ordered like creamy spinach, and then she ordered like 2 or 3 different things. And the waiter would come back, ma'am, we don't have that one. I'm like, so what do you guys have? And then she'd ordered that. I think she ordered like, I don't know, something else. And the guy was like, I see. And then she ordered like a certain wine that there's nothing. Like, she was just, so it's annoying when you're going down the line.
Yeah.
And you get to the point of like, Chief, tell me what's there, because I'm tired of this whole I pick something and then it's not there, and this and the third. But so it wasn't a great dining experience, to be honest. I had asked a few people before we went there. I'm like, oh, how's the food there? They were like, Chief, to be honest, the food at Smokehouse is better. And I was like, really? Like, yeah. But I think we had their wings. Their wings were all right. They weren't anything amazing. They were dope. They're all right. But the in terms of the place, dope place, lively place. I think it was raining the day that we went, so you couldn't sit outside. But the outdoors looked really nice as well. They had a little fountain going on and shit. So mixed review of the Kraal. Was in cotton for a few minutes. It looks like what you'd expect out of Skies. So it looks like Smokehouse is still king in Bulawayo. From what I can see. Then my last point of order. We went to Garden of House. Garden of House was dope. Very, 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 very well organized. So shout out to Anele for putting that together and his team. So that was a dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
My only issue was with Bulawayo DJs, and also this counts for Smokers as well. There's a few tracks, Senna, that are killing it at the moment, right? Number 1, Iplan.
Yes.
Dala Tugzin.
Yes.
I was listening to Two Broke Twimbos, and then Phil called him Dala Tugzin. I was just like, wow. But anyway, but yeah, so Iplan is a banger, right?
Yes, it is.
Did it come out in the same year as
Nige? Yes, it was last year. It was all 2023.
Fuck. So what's the song of the year?
Then people say it's Mnike, and then it's just that I think Iplan came out.
No, it's because that's the thing. It's only because Iplan came out in Q4.
Yeah,
that's the only reason people are still writing it now. But I think Mnike was like a smash hit, like globally even. I think Iplan was bigger. Southern African. It's a huge track, but
and if you're a Nguni speaker, you understand it on a deeper level, And also, if you're unemployed, it just slaps different, dog. Like, it speaks to our problems.
Oh my god!
No, but honestly, think about it. The song goes, "La ukhona darling yakuthanda, wherever you are, baby, I love you. Umsebenzi awukho ngishota ngemali. There's no work. I'm short of cash. Kodwa masithandana ngizohlala ngenza iplan." but if we love each other, I will always make a plan.
I will always be there for you,
bruh. Tell me, like I know I was often, especially during the Gqom era of South African music, and my disdain for Gqom. During the Gqom era of South African music, I was always very critical that ever since Zola and the other Kwaito artists and the Afro whatever pop stars, there wasn't music that spoke to the struggles and challenges of people. There wasn't music that spoke of upliftment and whatever. So a plan for me was, I liked over Umnike, but that's just
you know what
preference.
You should listen to, since you like all the struggle music, you should listen to a song called, I think it's called Impilo Yesantin. Is it by Mpura? Let me see here. It's in as a track. It's okay. I think it's okay, mid to okay. But since you like the struggle shit, yeah,
I don't like the struggle shit.
Impilo Yesantin by Gwenyama Brothers and Mpura. So I'll send you.
I'll listen to it. So what was
the vocals are dope.
Okay, I'll listen to it. So what was your frustration with the beat? The Bulawayo DJs. I almost said the beat DJ.
I mean, okay. Actually, let me wrap up. I think Mnike is the track of the year.
Okay.
I think they're both amazing songs. But I think Mnike hits harder.
Yes.
It's just a better vibe. It's more of a, I don't know, man. I can't pick, but I'll go with. I think Mnike hit a higher peak for me. I think that's how.
Yes, it did. I mean, anyway, when Rihanna and all those people they liked Mnike, then I mean that's.
Yeah, I know, but even on a personal level, bruh, at Groove, when Mnike hit, I was lucky enough to be in SA when Mnike had just jumped on the streets. Guy, yeah.
That was a dangerous time.
That was a dangerous time. We'll see. But back to the point.
Yeah.
So there's Iplan. Mm-hmm. There is let me look up the name of the song. It's called Horns of something. So Horns of Africa. Horns in the Sun by DJ Kent and Taxi. That's that one. And then there's Yes God. I'm sure you've heard the Yebo God. You know that one. Yes God. Then there's a fourth item, but I forget what the name is. But like they kept rinsing those tunes. Like each DJ, like at Garden of House, I think they probably went through at least like 5 DJs minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At minimum, right? At least when I was there. And each of them played Iplan, each of them played Yes God, each of them played Horns in the Sun. And it's like,
so guys, I've actually got a question for you.
Yeah.
And maybe you are more in the know of this than me. When you go to concerts and there's DJs lined up or like shows or whatever, so obviously, and this is where I sometimes, I'm always skeptical of. I've never enjoyed DJs as performers because I don't know. I feel like
I love DJs as performers.
Really?
Love it.
Okay, yeah, but in any event, right? Is there like an agreement that people make with the promoter to say Ubani plays the hit songs, or it's all like free for all? Everyone who comes, because then if that's the case,
it's free for all. No, but so I'll I don't have the full know-how, right?
Yeah.
But what I do know, a friend of mine who's a DJ was telling me, like generally they'll tell you. So if you have like Dlala Thukzin as your main act that night, right? They will tell you don't play his tunes.
All right.
That they'll basically say in his tunes don't play them. And also it's also a good like courtesy, because like usually if you're not the headliner, like it's like, hey bro, respect, is it? Like there's levels to this shit.
Right.
So either which way. I think it only gets complicated when we're all on the same level. For all DJs, like Garden of House, were all generally like Chronicle Deep was the headliner at that event.
Yes.
But
then the big
of
song,
just
the big song isn't his, right? So maybe for example, Iplan Omnig is not his. It's by Dlala Thukzin and these other South African Maphorisa and all these talented guys who are not there. Yeah. So if you're the headliner, then do you then have exclusive rights to play Umnike and Iplan, or can everyone else? And not in the Bulawayo Garden of House context, But outside of that, let's say we're all playing at Cubana. We're all in the Cubana lineup, right? Yeah. So is it a known fact that I can't play Scoot is Nice if I'm the first DJ?
No, so you can play whatever. You can play whatever in general, but because everyone has a set that they're going with. So usually DJs will come in like, so what clubs normally try to do is they'll have Sena's our piano guy, then Tabu is our gqom guy, and then this guy is our, you know, general house, or this is our hip hop guy, or this is our Afrobeats guy, generally. Like throughout the night, right? So you hear usually you've been in groove, and all of a sudden the mood has changed to a different type of music. So that's the easiest way, so that there's no overlap, right?
Then the promoter can decide how that works.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So if already we're doing different genres, there's really no conversations to be had. But if we're all house DJs, there needs to be, and I don't know if it's on a promoter level, but someone has to be the quarterback to say, right, guys, you know, yes, we know there's these hit songs, but let's try to, you know, this guy will play these type of songs, right? And whether it's creating a WhatsApp group where you see some of, you know, the quote unquote popular songs, right? And then you can see, or just being straight up being told, yeah, this, and this, please don't include that in your set.
All right.
I don't know if it would be the organizer, the promoter, whoever, like it would just need to be one of those things. And I think if
has
to
be the organizer.
DJ, if you're a good DJ, if personally, if you told me I couldn't play Iplan and Yes God and Horns in the Sun, I'd be like, sharp.
Yeah,
because
I'd definitely be like,
I still bust ass. You know what I mean? Like there's so much more music out there, and I think it's like it's almost a crutch sometimes to just be like, oh, let me just play the banger. You know what I mean? Like it's a bit of a crutch, and it's not. It also cheapens your set sometimes. You know, where it's like, okay, yes, we like to end on a high, but you know what? There's all these other songs that banged 1 or 2 years ago. So if you're a piano DJ, no one played John Wick, no one played Mcimbini, no one played what's this thing called? What's that? My God, Leo Shona.
Leo Shona, yes, and Abeko Reddy, and
yeah. So bro, there's so many. Like there's so many. Tunes in like even Melo Sleazy's catalog that bang, and you can get the crowd on a high. It's like, why are we rinsing these tunes?
I want to take a shot at DJing at one of these one day, you know, like just for once. I know my wife would be very scared if I want to take a shot at DJing, but I mean, like just for once, because I think the modern day DJ sometimes is lazy. Because I've heard so many good house tracks, especially sometimes like I'll be on like Instagram maybe after a couple of days, and then I see my post has done a whole thing of bangers. I'm like, oh, that's cool tune. I'm like,
bro,
I think there's a laziness.
Like, I'm not even going that deep into it. And it's like, if you call your event Garden of House, like I expect all different types of house, right? Not just Amapiano. So I want a bit of diversity in people's sets where it's like, oh, okay, this guy really, he killed it with this and this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like don't be one dimensional. And that's what I love about music, is that there's so many, just in the house genre alone, there's so many different types of house that bang. And it's like, you know, like the DJs that really, like Shimza is amazing. Because some of the tunes that he puts together, like, you know, like he'll take the beat from this and then the vocals from that, and then it's like, oh shit, like this is dope. And it's, you know what I mean, like you can get to that level. I don't think you have to be, like Shims is great as a musical mind, but I don't think it's when it comes to DJing, to even attempt, right? You might not pull it off, but even to attempt to put these things together, like sometimes if you do the banger, it just doesn't slap. So like pick an obscure track, and then like other people will pick maybe like you remember, oh nobody's
yes. So that's actually what I was coming to. There's so much value in going 10, 15 years ago sometimes.
Ingoma's got DJ Cleo's got DJ
exactly.
Bro.
If I can play Sisingihamba now, bruh.
Come on, fam. Even just the OG, just play that song as the I've been, because of this IG thing of me sharing music or whatever, I get to our house parties and get together or whatever, and people are like, Chief, can you DJ? And of which can you DJ means can you just connect your phone to
the speaker and do the things.
Yeah, but I mean, I take my job very seriously. So like, it's like one of these things where I just look at how people are reacting to like, oh, okay, you know, and it's like, okay, cool. you don't have to be, you don't have to be at Shimza Black Coffee levels.
Yeah.
Those guys get paid for that shit, and it's like it's levels, right?
Do your own thing.
Like just do your own thing, and like if you love music, you know what I mean. Like if you love that genre, like you don't need the bangers. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to lean on the bangers.
And already people know that when they give me the aux, they're about to go through 2 hours of Kwaito and Kabelo and Spikiri and Trompies and Mosquito.
But it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like if you're gauging, and that's what if that's what the people are feeling, you know what I mean? Even the Soul Brothers, doesn't get in, we love more. Like, we can get into that.
Hanani
you know
has
what I mean?
this,
like it's just
Hanani has this thing where he'll play Splash. Like, let him connect, he'll just play. You'll all be chilling, then he'll play Splash. And I'm like, oh, actually haven't heard Dan Chanda and these guys in a long time.
Like I would love. We'll probably get a DJ on in these next couple of weeks to come and talk about the industry and stuff, because I have a question. Like some of these older songs, bro, like it's different when, so like now to play Mnige, right, people might be a bit tired, you know what I mean? Like, music goes through this phase of like, it's the new banger, everyone plays it every day, everywhere, we know, right? And then after that, we kind of get over the song. Like, you know what? I said Kazi to that extent.
Shem, I was I was also very disappointed that no one. I don't know. You know that thing that you say Shimza does, where he'll mix this song and that song. How come no one's used Arthur's Mnige as like an intro for the new Mnige?
Yeah,
like I feel like there's so many different things you can.
Right
and Mnige in the late 90s, right? That was the biggest song of the country at the time.
So with this Mnige, ironically, it's I think the original ish, and I put original quotation. It was based off of Lala Tukzin's Niga Niga. So the Gimniga, like that was Lala Tukzin. That song I think came out a few years ago, right? That's been the tune. Hey, brother, I remember that played a groove in April when we were in Cape Town. My God. Yeah. Where Cubana, where the DJ unleashed that item because he was now leaning into the Gqom side. Guys, like Gqom is just pure. But I shout out, there was one DJ who started playing Gqom at Garden of House. So shout out to that dude. And you see how like energy shifts when you like shift genres as well. So he leaned into Gqom music and it was going down. Gqom is it's just so destructive. It's beautiful destruction. Love it. Like it's the shit. It's no. Me and Gqom Siazwana. Like it just gives you energy, bro. Like hold on. Let me just give people one reference. One reference for Gqom. There's this dude called Goldmax. Look him up. Real G's will know Goldmax. But if you look up a song called Amaketang, look up that song. That song, it's a bit repetitive. But like the first 1 minute is the best 1 minute of your life.
I'm not sure.
It's the best 1 minute of your life. But anyway, going back to the point. My only frustration with Bulawayo DJs is that, guys, you can be better. In terms of their DJing technique, I had no issues with it. I think they were really good. But had more issues with what they were putting as part of their sets. Like, you guys don't have to be one-dimensional. And I know you guys love the music. You love the genre. So it's like, the more you diversify your portfolio, right, the more people are going to remember. And they'll be like, oh, bro, who was that dude on stage? Because he had the crowd rocking. Because people are going to, like, the first DJ to play Mnige is going to get the reaction, right? People go, hey, whatever. The first DJ to play Iplan, they're going to get the reaction. But then if I'm like DJ number 2 or DJ number 3 or 4 in the middle there, I need to be different. That's what I would be telling myself, when I'm coming up with the set. But I need to take a short left because people have already heard these tunes, or I assume people would have already heard these tunes. But if I just go in that first year of the pandemic, just pull out a few bangers from there, when people will go crazy, fam. People like, this is before even mixing vocals, and this is just play them as they are.
Play the songs as they are.
Leave it as it is, fam, and the shit will bang. And that's my issue as well with Marvel. It's like, bro, like, if you went and you copied the comic word for word and you just put that in real life,
it still works.
So happy.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to add your own as a creative, sometimes you feel like you need to add your own.
Nah, I think that's hubris.
Thing.
Because you know what I mean? Like, it's like, bro, we didn't need you to tweak this and change this. Like, who said make Superman black? Like, I'm not clamoring for a black suit. Leave it alone.
Or to be honest,
you know,
the controversial one, a black James Bond. Like, come on, let James Bond be white. Create a new black character.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, like I'm always for that. Even like with this whole thing of make a character a woman or make them gay or whatever. It's like, bro, you're already starting a war with people who, you know what I mean, like are gonna be like, no, he must not be like this, he must be like that. It's like, just create the badass character. Because like at the end of the day, there was a day where James Bond was nothing, right? Mm-hmm. It was just a writer who was coming up with the character, and then it's like boom, and then it becomes something. So everything starts from nothing.
Yeah, bro.
Right, so I feel like people mustn't be afraid to create new. You can create a new character, and when they're badass, if you actually remember, you were talking about laziness, right? With DJs, there is a laziness with creators as well.
100%.
Let's just do a gender switch. It's like, no, fam, a gender swap, a race swap, like that's not what people are clamoring for. People want authentic characters, and that's what slaps.
Yeah, well,
that's what gets you the money. But anyway. Mr. Moyo, we have this is the first episode's back. It's long. Shout out to the DJs.
So I was about to ask.
Just
okay,
stop killing us with
so that we stay on what we're actually talking about. Garden of House was the other thing that you enjoyed in Blues.
Yes.
Potholes were the con.
Yeah, potholes were the con. We really need to, or the government rather, not we. Government really needs to figure themselves out, bro, because it's not getting embarrassing. Like, I was shocked. All these Njivas that were coming with their Mercs. Mm-hmm. I was like, guys, really? Are we still doing that now? Because if I own a Merc, I'm not bringing it to Zim.
Because was shocked, right? So I have this. I need to be careful how I describe this. There's this person who lives in Bulawayo that I know. He's very rich, very powerful, influential. Owns these sexy cars, right? We're talking big cars. So I see one of them parked on the road this one day, and next to it is the biggest pothole I have ever seen in my life. Like, biggest stretch of potholes. You know, like when there's a big goti and then there's like little stretches of it.
Goti juniors.
Right around it. And I remember thinking to myself, where are you going to even drive this car? Like, are you going to?
Fam.
And it was a Lamborghini, I think, if not a Ferrari. I think it was a Lamborghini. It was a Lamborghini in Bulawayo.
Like a Lambo or the Urus?
A Lambo. No, this guy's got money. No, he's got serious money. So I remember just thinking to myself, bruh, you could literally on this stretch of road just outside your house, or actually on the street. For the cost of the one car that you have, you literally could have put tar on this thing. Right?
Right.
Like you could have.
Wait. Hold on. This rich individual, do they happen to live relatively close to your house?
Yes.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So it was parked on the road, and then I was just like, bro, this is ridiculous. Like literally, and apparently he has like a collection of these cars. And I say to myself, bro, you could we're not talking fix the whole of freaking Circular Drive, right? Just the strip outside your
just
house,
your ends.
Where your car is parked.
So I heard if you wanted to fix the road, apparently you need to get permission from City Council.
Was this person not in City Council, Mr. Maposa?
I mean, for him, there's no excuse. For that particular individual, there is no excuse as to why you can't just get that slab of road, those 50 meters, sorted out.
Leave my cabin, leave Maps' cabin, leave JR's cabin, just yours, my guy. Like, so that it makes sense. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, it's literally the funniest thing when you come and you park a Lambo next to a pothole. Like, that is like... that summarizes Zimbabwe in a very funny way.
Bro, and it's like, my thing is like, if I'm looking at the government, right? It's like, y'all are rich, right? And you have all these sexy cars and like all this lavish shit,
all these Mercedes and whatever.
And it's like Lama Maybach land, and it's like, okay, but like, are you not? I personally, yes, I have the cars and all that, but I'd also be embarrassed because I'm like, but I can't even take nice pictures of my car because there's no road by my crib. You know what I mean? Like, it's just those things where it's like, you know what? And at least it's like, I would fight for like, but guys, as long as inshallah inside, as long as in better, you know what I mean? Like, as far as 1 million, just, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why not even like, you know what I mean? Like, are you guys so focused on just chowing the mind that is like just your yard, fam? I wouldn't even hate. You know what I mean? Like, it's like at this point, what they've done, it's like I would not even be mad if someone told me to ride. There's 200 meters of like great road anywhere that a minister stays. I'd be like, okay, sure.
Or on the street that they stay on, like he's fixed his path from Burnside Road up until a certain point. I get it, my guy.
No, like it's like listen, hey, you guys have been taking the piss, but at least this one, we can enjoy a bit of some new road or something. But it's like nothing, bro. These guys just get in the whips, and it's like, how's your suspension, my guy? It doesn't make any sense at all. But like, hey, bro, some of those roads are I'm told you can't even drive beyond. Hanani was saying if you do more than 80 k's on Victoria Falls Road.
Yeah, everyone was telling me about Falls Road.
It's bad, bro. It's not, you know, and it's like, I don't know. Me personally, I'd love to jump into those parliamentary proceedings. Like, guys, what's the policy on the road? Like, are we just pretending? You know, because it's a nationwide thing. Like, the whole country has bad roads. And
so what they say, apparently, according to those in the know, was that the reason why it's so difficult for democratic government, this is the excuse that the politicians come up with. They say the reason why it's so difficult for democratically elected governments to fix the roads in the way that the old colonial and apartheid structures were able to is because they had access to free or slave labor or very cheap labor. So they could go get some couple of dakis to build roads, to build entire cities and infrastructure, and then paying them nothing or very little. Or for the most part, they'll be like, we'll build you a compound. So you have a place to live, we'll give you food, build the city, build the roads. So what they're saying is now for them to maintain and build new roads and new dams and new buildings in the city, they would need to hire like Kukup 5 and all these construction companies, which will charge an arm and a leg, which they don't have. So that's their excuse.
Those Lambos would beg to differ,
right?
It's like, I'm like, guys, me personally, I would do a personal cry in Parliament, like, guys, for 6 months, just for 6 months, can you just let the money go to where it needs to go? Let's just for 6 months close your eyes and just be like, yo, no man, take whatever your salary is supposed to be.
It is getting.
Let's just see.
It is getting embarrassing though. Unfortunately,
it's crazy, dog. And it's like, at least if the country was never at that level, right? If like in colonial times, if it was, you know, Vele, we had no roads and whatever, it's like, okay, cool, we've just never had this. But it's that joke that people say with you, Ian Smith and Avuga, like, you wouldn't get lost. Like, it's funny, but also sad.
That is funny.
It's funny, but it's sad. And it's like, guys, it's like, and he would probably the worst part of all of this, right? If Ian Smith did wake up and like Papamada, he's up, right? The first thing that he would do is be like, I told you these niggas couldn't run shit. That's the first thing that he would do. Like, it would be vindicating what they do. Hey, really, these ones are savages. Really, these ones can't run shit. Hey, like, they would feel emboldened as to what they did was the correct thing. That's the part that makes me sad. Like, literally, those dudes will be like, yeah, Vele, you see?
Vele, I told you guys.
You already have black people who have that notion already. They'll fuck it up.
Yeah.
All these different schools where you would hear, this school now has a black headmaster. People had this notion, the moment the white headmaster dipped, the school was going to go to shit. And unfortunately, in a lot of circumstances,
sometimes it happens.
They did. And it's like, oh man, I wish. Obviously, again, I know there's factors and all these other things, right, in terms of the school specific stuff. But like at a government level, where it's like you are the guys who distribute the money. Unless they say, they can't even say the money's not there, because then why do you guys have Lambos?
Right?
So that's the problem. Like if at least they were stealing, and it's like, brah, we're all broke. It's like, oh, okay, we're just a poor nation.
We understand.
Everyone would just be like, you know what, we're just poor. It's okay. But the problem is you're gaslighting niggas, because on Instagram, y'all are flexing. And it's like, but guys, like, hi. But anyway, hopefully this little plea of ours will get to the right ears, and who knows, maybe they'll fix a road or two.
Nope.
Who knows?
It's more likely they'll censor. It's more likely they'll censor this part of the podcast than you.
No, but honestly, it's not even anything crazy. It's a plea from citizens saying, "But guys, like, we have so much potential. Like, at some point, like, money has to be enough at some point. You know what I mean? Like, your crib has to be big. Like, But anyway, we'll just become comrades because anyway, but yeah, with regards to Zim, I did a couple of different things. Went to Matopos, went to see the colonizer's grave. My son had a good time, loved it. He loved it. And that guy climbed from, by the thing, that little hut before you go up to the graves, Lapa, where they make you pay $1 or whatever.
Yeah.
He walked all the way up. He didn't want to be picked up. Yeah, and he walked all the way down. He was like, but if you picked him up, like, right, you're taking time, Asambe. He would literally wriggle out of my hands. I'm like, no, I'm fine.
How?
I want to walk. And you have 2 feet, I have 2 feet.
And he 2-stepped.
Let's go. And he 2-stepped, bro.
Nice.
And when we got up there, I'm tired. I'm like, all right, let's rest. Let's see the sunset. He was like, nope. We're walking around this whole damn thing. Everything, every nook and cranny. I want to just walk. Then you'd like see a lizard, and then you'd want to like walk and go see the lizard up close. And it's like, he's just doing a lot, bro. Like, it's just at some point I had to pull out the cocoa melon. I'm like, guys, let's give it 10 minutes.
Pull out the cocoa melon.
Sit. Yeah, because it's like this guy, he doesn't realize that he's tired. So like he'll walk and walk and walk, and he'll be tired. You can hear him breathing heavy, but he doesn't want to stop. So like I'm like, Chief, drink some water. No, I don't want to drink some water. So like I literally had to find a way to distract him so he could sit and rest. And then the moment he's rested, we're up and we're walking and we're walking and we're walking. Like I couldn't wait to get back down because I had to hold his hand because he's not fully balanced yet in terms of his walking. So it was a lot, but he had himself a
good time,
good old time,
which is good, man. And it's important that kids enjoy themselves when they're in them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Then they'll grow up with positive memories of the country.
I know he will have positive memories. This one,
even
Tina, we're the ones who are going to be scarred. He'll just be like, "Oh yeah, Zim's great."
Yeah, because you'll still remember 2008, and he'll think of grandma and grandpa's house and the holidays and
exactly
all that.
And it's already like the country's already shit. So it's like you already at the bottom, on the ground floor. So when you come in on the ground floor, you can only go what? You can only go up. So hopefully by the time that he grows, like, the country will start to recover. That's my personal hope. But Tina, we entered at a certain level and we dropped, and then we're hoping that things go back
somewhere.
We're hoping that. And then Mans went to the Plaza.
Nice.
Went to see Baba Zala and Mama Zala, and as per his custom, killed a goat. You
yourself.
It was.
Your cheese boy self or someone else?
The cheese boy was in the spire and he did the things. That's I'm letting y'all know. Baba Zala came, he was like, my guy, we need to do things. I said, say less, brother, say less. Then we pulled up. I was a bit underprepared though.
Okay.
Because now the situation was, I had to pick because it had rained the night before, so it still had a bit of like amadaga, a little bit, not too much.
Not too much, just a little
bit. A little bit. And then now I'm like, now go Eswayeni, where there's all this, what's this, animal droppings and all these different things, right? I went to the Plaza because we're only there for like 2-3 days. I went there with one pair of sneakers, and those were my Yeezys. So now I had to look at my Yeezys. Because I forgot, like that. Me, my mind was like, yo, I need comfortable shoes, and Yeezys are super comfortable. So now I'm looking at my Yeezys. I'm like, we can't go and wulala a goat and run around the spire in Yeezys because
also a cheese boy behavior is that
costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. So I went out in the patapatas. So I almost messed up my ankle because I slipped out of my patapat. Because that goats can juke the shit out of you, bro. Like, so we had to now corner the item, and yeah. But it was due to my ingenuity in strategy. We cornered it.
Wait, to my ingenuity.
We did the things.
Let me tell you.
No. Me, there's.
How's you being a cheat boy?
No, I regretted bringing the Yeezys. I was like, I came
I've got.
And you know what?
Yeah.
When we went with we drove with my brother-in-law as well to the farm, and when we picked him up, he packs like safety shoes, right? The construction items, packs them in the back of the car, and then like my wife goes, dude, why would you bring your safety shoes? Like, we're going to the farm. And then he was like, yeah, what if we get stuck somewhere in the mud? And in my mind, I was like, oh, shit. I didn't even think of that. Like, that did not even register in my mind. Like, what if we do get stuck somewhere? And it rained. After that, it rained like every day that we were at the farm.
Bombaclad.
So, yeah. So we could have gotten stuck, and I would have been there in Yeezys. It was almost a nightmare. But luckily, 4-wheel drive. We were within.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you lead the slaughter? I'm actually confused. We're not confused, but I've got follow-up questions. Did you lead the slaughtering, or were you just like in the background, like being cool?
So I led the capture. The capture mission.
All right.
Yeah. And then once it had been captured, then Ano Babazala had recruited 2 pros who know how to do it.
Okay.
So after that I was now part of the Talk Stories committee. So it was now, keep conversation flowing.
Observing.
That's management. I was promoted to management.
There was management.
So that's basically what I was doing. But hey, bro, the poor goat, I felt bad just before it died because it let out, like goats scream. It almost sounds like a human scream. Like a man. It almost it sounded like if you'd caught a human being who knows they're about to be killed. That was the scream of it. Like, he knew what was about to happen. And I was like, sorry. And then Baba said, I was like, chief, it's time up. So
it's done.
It is what it is, bro. And then I felt so bad because the other goats were like, they saw it happen. So
I think that's traumatizing for animals.
50 meters, they would run, bro. Within 50 meters, if the goat saw you moving, they were like, no, not me. Not me.
So that's actually why a lot of vegans, the vegans and PETA and all these guys say animal cruelty is bad because it creates this environment of death for livestock. So they already know that when you're coming to get one of the goats, that it's time to go. And then apparently it creates this environment of fear, and it's traumatic.
Is that what they say?
Oh yeah, 100%. So like if you ever go to like a slaughterhouse where they slaughter cows, they'll always say that because I think they line them up, and then like it's a very efficient process where the head goes through one thing and then dead.
Yeah,
it's like very efficient. But apparently all these animal rights activists will say no, it's torture because they can feel death in the air. And they'll communicate with each other over tea.
How do they know? You see, now when you start saying things like feel death in the air,
well,
like that's where they lose me.
Because maybe you see the panic in the cow's eyes, and you see them mooing, and they're like, oh, and you're like, okay. I don't know.
No, but I was gonna say cows take it like champs. I've never seen a cow that like just like lost its shit. I haven't seen, like, was just like, nah, guys, no, please,
don't know, please,
let me tell you something.
Wait, man.
Like, guys, let's.
But I do think they can sense death in the air. I do think even if they don't communicate verbally to be like, oh hey, blah blah blah, hey, this is Wagwan. For the most part, it's. I think you can sense it, dog. I think even animals can feel certain things. That's why maybe buffalo run away from lions and all the predators because they know with here, fuck around and die.
I don't subscribe to it, but I can. I think if they see it happening, maybe it registers in their brain with hey bruh, my guy went there with those humans and he never came back. Maybe it registers to a certain extent if you see that. But if you don't, I don't know. I think they just go on with their lives, to be very honest. Because the next day, the goats were fine. The goats was cooling. They weren't really, bugging out. But I know they were bugging out. That day, after it happened, or during, they were like, nah, y'all not going to catch us slipping. We've got 10 more minutes here. 8 more minutes. Let me see what's a quick one. Oh yes. At the airport, funniest shit happened. So at the airport, checking in, and so at this point, check-in was pretty much done. We've got the boarding passes. This is in Bulawayo, Joshwanko. So doing the check-in process, and there was another girl, like a little girl, like anywhere between 1 to 2 years old, right, who had just arrived as we were finishing up. At this point, I think my son is on his feet, right? He's walking around like somewhere close to me, within a meter of me. He sees this girl, like, who was probably 3 counters down, right? We're like in the middle counter. Like not all the counters are in use. There's like 10 counters and like they only use like 3. So they were the ones on like the far right. And my son sees this girl, and like homeboy was so spackered. So now like he's trying to get my attention, right? And keep in mind, my son probably like height wise is up to maybe my knee, right? So I'm not looking at what he's looking at. I'm trying to pay attention. I'm trying to be like, hey baby, do we have our passports? Everything's good. Like, that's where my mind is. Yeah, that's where my mind is. Meanwhile, my son is like literally like, yo, like, hey, like he's yanking my finger. And like he wants to go somewhere. So in my mind, I'm like, what does this guy want? But like I'm still focused on my wife. So like at some point, like he hits like my thigh. And then I'm like, so I look down, I'm like, what? And then this dude pulls my hand. So I'm like, okay, fine, where do you want to go? And there was like a little bit of a pillar where that last counter was. So I couldn't see directly what he was looking at, but he could see. And then I'm like, okay, fine, let's go where you want to go. We've packed the passports, everything's good. And then I see, okay. I saw a little black queen seated in her pram. And like my son was like, yo, let's go say
some game. I'm joking. Sorry.
Let's go see. And I'm like, you see, so in that moment I was so proud. I was like, my guy, like I see you. Like I had to apologize to him. Like, my boy, I'm sorry. Dad was sleeping on the job. I apologize.
You wanted to go say hi to another pick.
Yeah. See, exactly. So I was like, sorry, Jake. I apologize. But then now he did this. He does this thing where he'll see someone and he'll start yelling. So like he was about to go yell at the poor girl, and I was like, no, you're scaring the hose, man. What's wrong with you?
You're scaring the hose,
bro. So I had to pick him up. Like, chief, no, this is not gonna go well. So I picked him up and I was like, no, let's go the other way. Little man cried for a bit, but I was like, it's okay. Like, trust me. But you'll be fine.
This airport thing has reminded me of something that's happened to me the last 2 times I've been in Zim. This luggage situation with Airlink. Now, I think And I genuinely, I don't know what it is or how they do it or why they do it. I've been trying to figure out the reasons as to. Okay, so long story short, just for catch up people who don't remember the last time. Maybe I ranted about it the last time. Maybe I didn't. Went to Zim 2 years ago. It was December 2020. Was it April? Was it your wedding? It was your wedding. Maybe. It was April 2022. Land in Zim, and then we get there, and then we're told, no, your bags aren't here. Come back tomorrow. Right? And then you have to do that whole thing where you go the next day to get your bag.
And the airport isn't even closed,
bro. The airport in Blues is far. So this happened again this time around when I went home. Got there, me and my wife, we get there, and they're like, no, your bags didn't come. They'll be on the next flight. Batung. So apparently, and this is like the whole, or half the plane, or most of the people on the plane. Then you have to come back the next day. Apparently this time around, it was because something went wrong at OR Tambo with their luggaging system. But I think these airlines are taking people for idiots. Only because, so they're saying their luggage sorting system was broken. That's why some bags had to stay. But I think what happens is, and I blame some of you in Abantele Patisai. Typically when they're doing the Airlink flights to Zim, right? It's never the big planes. It's always going to be the smaller ones, the smaller jets, right? Nowadays, they're starting in December to bring the bigger ones. But I remember a couple of years ago, they were only doing like the small ones where you can even see the propeller. And you're like, Airlink, please respect us. I know Bulawayo isn't high volumes, but whatever. So what I think tends to happen... That
is like one row is 1 seat and the other one is 2 seats and that's it.
Yes. But I've come to try and understand what happens, right? You know how when you have too much luggage, you can just pay to have your extra bags in. I tend to think what happens is a lot of you guys, because you're carrying so many suitcases, you get there prepared to pay a fine to have your extra bag, right?
So no, actually, you know what? It's not that. So
what is it then?
I'll buffer your theory with this. I think we are the problem in terms of out of, let's say, the diaspora, right? The non-South African diaspora. Because I would like to think if I lived in SA, I wouldn't really be bringing like mad shit, right? In terms of my own personal luggage. If I was flying to Zim, it would, because I'd probably go to Zim relatively often, where it's not like a once in a lifetime, this is the time, right, type of thing. Whereas us, it is this is the time, first and last, right?
Yeah.
For the year. Most people in the diaspora will probably go to Zim once a year, if that. So, and then also now you look at an airline like Emirates. Most of these other international airlines, Emirates allows you 2 bags that are 23 kgs each.
Yes.
So if you think of that, so we flew from Dubai to Joburg to Skies. So now you think about my whole family, we're carrying probably 60 kgs or something. And then the plane that we were in was one of those jets. So like really, there's no way everyone's luggage is going to. So now, because I think it's easier for them to get the luggage in when it's connecting flights. So the Emirates flight lands, Qatar Airways lands, KLM lands, Delta Airlines, all these are the different airlines. It's hella luggage. Then you now deal with Usena who comes in and checks in the counter or is local, is coming from a local flight. Well, actually, yeah, you're coming from Cape Town, so you had to get your bags, right? And then recheck in at the international.
Yes.
So that's, I think, what is most likely happening. The plane is already at capacity when it comes to weight, that they just genuinely cannot add those other bags, the new bags that come in, because in the system already, at OR, the towers of the world have landed, their bags have already gone through. That is my theory of why, especially around Christmas.
And the towers of the world have I need to send 3, right? So now it's probably
it's long.
Right? But to be honest, you've got your suitcase, you've got your wife's suitcase, your son's suitcase, and then you've got another suitcase for gifts and things for other people, which you are well prepared to pay. And it's not a lot of money, to be honest. It's like 250 Rand, right? The additional penalty.
Internationally, they once tried to get $1,000 out of my mom, bro, at the airport. I was like, oh, you are mad. we'll repack. Like they can be a bit wild. But yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So typically what tends to happen is I suspect the bags get there, then they're like, hey, dude, we're at capacity, send these ones in the next flight, right? And then what happens is the moment December 18 hits, a lot of the bags end up on the next flight. Then they create a system where the bags follow
Backlog.
the people. Yes. Yo, this time it was bad, bro, because my wife only got her bag 2 days after we landed.
Sure.
Bro, cabang. So we landed on the 23rd. She only got her bag on Christmas Day. So I had to go to the airport on Christmas to pick it up. After,
because they're hoping the traffic is now gone, right? People were aiming for Christmas, and then you know what I mean. So you're hoping that the flights that are coming in, it's less and less people with these huge bags that are connecting, and then now you can, because like my mom had an issue with her flight, and they needed to rebook her, and she was supposed to like get to Zim like on the 19th or something like that, and like sorry, we can only rebook you for the 26th. That was the next available flight on Airlink.
But
and she was like, you was a man.
But look at it
like
yeah, but look at it like that, right? I think and maybe that wasn't always the case. I think many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, not many people were flying to Zim. Right? I think a lot of people were driving.
Yeah, because we hadn't left, Bella.
Because
we hadn't left the country.
No, but even
but
besides
how
that,
many people have left the country at this point?
A lot.
How many people have
a
gone
lot
abroad, further away,
and
have access to money and stuff? So like people's economy has gone up.
But
you know, so because also think about it. You've moved to the UK, you moved to Aussie, US, and all these other places, and the Middle East, and it's like obviously you're not gonna come back next year unless you've moved into a really good situation. For a lot of people, it's been a case of they got there, established themselves, started to save some money, and then now, you know what I mean? It's all coming to a climax of like,
yes.
Right, or does anybody now have money to come home yearly?
Yeah.
Or
but on top of that, right?
You know,
the economic situation is slightly better, so more people are flying, like in Zim, than 2008, for example, right? Back then, you knew that you want to go to SA, you drive, because you can't afford those prices that were being charged by AirZim and all these other airlines, right? And then
international travel has definitely gotten cheap.
There's more options now as well. So
air travel. Sorry.
Yes, there's more options now as well. Airlink is, I wouldn't say they're cheap, but they're there, right? They're there and they're on time. There's other airlines.
2 flights a day.
Yeah, 2 flights a day.
I think FastJet is also 2 flights a day.
Yeah. Remember back in the day, it was okay. Nokulale ebuyekseni. It's AirZim kuphela, and then it's done. And then there was a Fly Kumba at some point, and then they disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, but in any event, right? Then I look at it that way, and I'm like, then surely increase the capacity to be able to handle that luggage pressure.
But then the problem is,
and also Beitbridge,
more luggage, not necessarily more people. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's more luggage and still the same number of people. And Beitbridge got another point. Beitbridge got worse. Like Beitbridge is just always in December, no longer works for people who want to travel and you want to make it to Christmas. So then more and more people, there's less people willing to drive over. Like, actually, you know what? Save my energy. Let me just get on a plane. I'll pay whatever it is. Some people are even saving up the whole year to go home. So then December, it's easy to fly, right? So I'm like, maybe prepare ukuthi hey labantu abaphathisayo phela there's maybe let's.
But how do you prepare, Sen? How do you prepare?
Bigger
because
jets.
Getting a bigger plane is more money to the company when it's not going to fill up.
I think it will in December. Maybe not for the whole year.
It won't.
But for that week,
it won't fill up.
I think it will, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're conflating excess baggage that needs to go versus excess asses and seats. I don't know if it's that many. I mean, maybe the demand is truly there, and maybe it's a shortage of planes because planes are also going in different directions, right? They do sub-Saharan Africa, but I think maybe if you do maybe 18 to 22 December, operate the bigger planes between Bulawayo, Who knows? Who knows? Because I don't know. I'd have to see their books, right, and understand the economy, the economics of their business plan. But like, yeah, the easy for a solution that's simple, I think there must be a good reason why they're not doing that.
So you don't think it will fill up? Genuinely.
No, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are. That's the thing. So I know there's a bunch of people with a bunch of bags that have. So we already know that people are flying in with at least 2 pieces of luggage from around the world, right? We know that as a fact. But what we don't know is now in terms of ticket demand. I will say the flight that we were on to Skies, I believe, was completely full.
So was mine.
But also it was that one jet that has 1 seat on the left and 2 seats on the right.
Okay.
So it was a small plane, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the demand. But I mean, for them to say the next available flight to my mom was 5 days later after Christmas, I assume that demand really was there.
And it's increasing, right? More and more people are like, actually, let me just fly. And I do think it's possible, because when I remember when we flew on the 23rd, there was a guy who was on the waiting list. So you know those guys who are on the waiting list, just in case someone misses their flight, you are there. And then if not, then sorry. So there was like one guy who was waiting there. So I think a bigger plane, you have more luggage, but it doesn't solve the issue actually, because those same people that you're accommodating bring extra luggage as well.
Yeah. So you're taking in more diaspora, which means, but I mean, obviously the bigger planes, the boot capacity is a lot more.
Yes.
So you can afford to ferry that much luggage. I don't know, man. But I feel your pain. Losing a bag, there's nothing worse than that. I'm still fighting with Qatar Airways over some shit right now. But
bro, and then you get there, and then the Zimbra guys are like, we need to open your bag so we see. Like, how?
Shit! Shout out to Zimbra, man. Zimbra Abbas Lupanga this year or last year. Abbas Lupang. They literally were like, "Is there anything in this bag?" Like, no. Like, okay, enjoy your holiday.
Where?
That was it.
Nah, and some things are purely Zimbabwean, because we got there and then this guy is like to me. They like to us, when we're coming to pick up my wife's bag on Christmas Day, twakulo muntu ohambela amakhiya waya town and left the bags in a locked room. Otherwise,
no way. No way.
And this man rocked up an hour later. He's like, "Sorry." I'm like, my guy, just you know what, whatever.
Nah.
And then he goes
out of customer.
And then he goes to me, you know, I can detain your bag if you're impatient. My babu.
Dad.
But anyways,
I'll be like, you got the wrong one today, fam.
Don't play it. With Zimbra, you just comply. You don't fight, because it's in your best interest to get your bag.
No. Listen, we will have a fight.
To what end?
Then Debele and me will not allow such disrespect.
To what end, though?
It's not gonna fly. You gotta respect, fam. You gotta respect. Okay. The end is you gonna respect. Like, you can't just be moving mad. First of all, Hambewa at town. Like, no. That's gross negligence, fam. Like, dereliction of duty. No. But anyway, let me not get all hot and bothered about Zimra. I said shout out to them. They didn't give us any stress this year. So
lucky you.
That we need to leave the podcast at that.
Yes.
I'm just looking at shit. There's a laundry list of things.
No, this was warm up. We'll be back next week.
Yeah. We'll be back. Oh, last quick point. Was it the Minister of Tourism at Garden of House was booed off stage?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
That was funny. That
was hilarious.
But anyway, thank you for indulging us, guys. We are back. We're gonna rock and roll. This is gonna be the biggest year yet for the podcast. We're gonna do our best. If you got any creative ideas of stuff that you'd like us to try, then hit us up. Let us know. DM us. We had a mad Siyazama as well, but we'll get to that one for next week.
Week.
We had a return listener who sent in a Siyazama, And now I think she's given an update to that CSR. So any people who are in that category as well, come back and give us an update. Plenty of people who have sent in CSRs, come back. Let's have a good year. Let's have a solid year. And as you know, like the thing, subscribe to the thing, retweet the thing. And if you don't, we're inclined to believe you're a hater. Mr. Moya.
Laters.